So, good day everyone. I am Hanilin Simiel and I am the one to explain our adjusted trial balance. So, to have the adjusted trial balance, all we need to do is to compute each account's adjusted balance by combining the unadjusted trial balance and the adjustment figures, and then enter the adjusted amounts in the adjusted trial balance columns. So we will combine the unadjusted trial balance with the adjustments. Reflecting these adjustments will yield the adjusted trial balance. So let's start. The first one is the cash in bank. So since they are both debit, all we need to do is to add them together and plot them on the debit side of the adjusted trial balance. So 180,000 plus 3,800 is 183,800. Next is the petty cash fund. So in this case, it will remain as is since there are no adjustments that have been made. And it is on the debit side since the unadjusted trial balance is on the debit side. Next is the accounts receivable. So it will also still remain as is since there are no adjustment that has been made. Next is the estimated uncollectible account. So in this case, since both entries are credit, so we add them together and plot the total on the credit side of the adjusted trial balance. So 1,000 plus 3,000 is 4,000. Next is the prepaid insurance. So in this case, given that the unadjusted trial balance is on the debit side and adjustments is on the credit side, we will subtract the total adjustments from the unadjusted trial balance and plot the result on the debit side, considering it has the greater amount. So on the debit side, and we will have to subtract this too. So 12,800 minus 800 is 12,000. So next one is the prepaid interest bank loan. So in this case, we will also have to subtract this one. So 20,000 minus 5,000 is 15,000. So we will have to plot this on the debit side since it has the greater amount. So the same on the prepaid insurance and prepaid interest, all we have to do is to subtract these two since it is debit and credit. So 58,000 minus 52,500 is 5,500. Next is the building. So since there are no adjustments that have been made, all we need to do is to copy this also on the debit side. Next is the accumulated depreciation building. So in this case, since there are both credit, so we have to add them together and plot the total amount on the credit side. So 116,250. Next is the furniture and fixtures. So it will also remain as is. Next is the accumulated depreciation, furniture and fixtures. So this one is, we have to add them together since they are both on the credit side. So 143,250. So the next one is the linens and towels. So in this case, it will remain as is since there are no adjustments that have been made. So we will plot this on the debit side as well, 600,000. Next is the notes payable. So it will also remain as is, only that it will be plotted on the credit side. Next one is the DL Marks capital. So it will also remain as is and it will be plotted on the credit side as well. Next one is the DL Marks drawing. So it will be plotted on the debit side of the adjusted trial balance, and it will remain as is since there are no adjustments that have been made. Next is the hotel income. In this case, since they are both on the credit side, so we will add them together and then we will plot this on the credit side. So 144,400 plus 3,800 is 148,200. So the next one, it will remain as is. The taxes and licenses, telephone and postage, laundry expense, and the audit and legal fees will remain as is, and it will be plotted on the debit side of the adjusted trial balance since there are no adjustments that have been made. For the taxes and licenses, we will plot this on the debit side, 12,808. So all we need to do is to copy this one. Also, the telephone and postage, 12,120. So the next one is the laundry expense, 15,000. Next would be the audit and legal fees, worth of 12,600. So for the salaries and wages, since there are adjustments that have been made, we have to add them together and plot this on the debit side. So 33,000. For the utilities expense, it will remain as is on the debit side of the adjusted trial balance. So we will just have to copy this one, 13,500. And this one, for the uncollectible accounts, it will remain as is on the debit side of the adjusted trial balance. We will just have to copy this one on the debit side. For the accrued salaries and wages, it will also remain as is, but it will be plotted on the credit side. So 8,000. Next one, for the depreciation expense, it will be plotted on the debit side of the adjusted trial balance. So 42,500. The next one would be the prepaid interest expense bank loan. So it will be also plotted on the debit side. Next would be the operating supplies, also on the debit side. And the last one is the insurance expense, which is worth of 800. So if you will add all the amount on the debit side of the adjusted trial balance, we will have a total amount of 4,623,700. As well as on the credit side of the adjusted trial balance, we would also come up to the amount worth of 4,623,700 as well. So this indicates that they are in balance. So that's all for the adjusted trial balance, everyone. That's all. Thank you.